This is a story by a wonderful writer of ghost stories who wrote in the late 1800s, A.M. Burrage. This story was originally set in a Victorian house party, but I've modernized it to tell out loud. But the title of the story, the chill of the story, they're all A.M. Burrage. And the story is called Smee. Oh, Mom, I'm not gonna know anybody there. Jackson, you'll know your cousin Stephen and Amanda. I know, Stephen, that's the problem. He's so weird. Jackson. My mom pulled up outside the big old farmhouse that my uncle and aunt and two cousins had moved into that summer. All the grown-ups were going to some fundraiser, so Steve and I were the oldest. We had to take care of the little kids. Mom, Jackson, please, take your backpack, go. I'm already late. Listen, try to have a good time. I promise I'll be home before 11. She took off. I walked up the stairs of the farmhouse. My cousin Amanda, she was littler than me, but she was okay. But Steve, he really was, ugh. And then, sure enough, I open the door, and there's Amanda standing right in the middle of the hall, and she's yelling at Steve, who's halfway up the staircase, kind of draped over the banister. Steve, Amanda said, you can't just stay up in your room and play video games. Mom said you have to stay down here and play games with us. Then she turned around and saw me. You too, Jackson. All right, I said. What do you want to play? How about hide and seek? There were two other little girls standing beside Amanda. They looked like twins. Hide and seek? Ooh, said Steve. His hair was kind of falling over his eyes. You don't want to play hide and seek in this house. A long time ago, like 50 years ago, a bunch of kids were playing hide and seek, and a little girl, she fell down the cellar stairs, broke her neck, and died. Steve, shut up, Amanda said. Mom said you're not supposed to scare us with that either. Well, hide and seek's a baby game anyway, Steve said. How about Smee? We all looked. There was another girl in the room. She was standing right in the doorway of the living room. I recognized her. She went to my middle school. She was like a grade ahead of me, but we had the same lunch period. She had long, dark hair that kind of fell in wings around her face. I thought she was pretty cute. You know, Smee, she said. It's me. You turn off all the lights, and then you each pull a piece of paper, and they're all blank except one has Smee written on it. Well, how do you see if Smee's written on it if the lights are out, Steve said. Because someone has a flashlight, duh, the girl continued. So anyway, if you're Smee, you get up and you creep out in the dark and you hide. And then everybody else counts to 100 and then they come look for you. And so when you find somebody in the dark, you grab them and you say, Smee, and if they say Smee back, then you have to keep looking. But when you find the real Smee, they won't say anything. And then you just sit down beside them in the dark and wait for everybody else to find you. The last person to find Smee loses. She looked right at me. Want to play? Sure, I said, yeah. Well, everybody else did too. So Amanda went around and turned off all the lights, and Steve went off to find a flashlight, and I followed the dark-haired girl and the twins into the family room. And the dark-haired girl got a piece of paper out of the recycling bin. She said, okay, I'm gonna rip up the strips, right? What, there's us three and then Steve and Amanda, that's 5, right? Okay, 5 strips. Look, I'm gonna write Smee, just on this one. Okay, help me crumple them up. All right, good, Amanda. Okay, Steve got the flashlight, good. Amanda, okay, everybody pick one, turn off the lights. Okay, Steve, shine the flashlight. Not in our eyes, Steve, on the papers. Okay, everybody look at your paper. All right, flashlight off. Okay, Smee, go. Well, my paper was blank, but I felt somebody get up and leave the room. And the rest of us counted to 100, more or less. And then we got up, we looked for Smee. And at first it was really fun because you crash into somebody in the dark and you'd say Smee, and they'd say Smee back, and then you kept looking. But then it got quieter and quieter. And finally I bumped into somebody on the second floor sitting on the stairs that led up to the attic. Smee? Nothing. So I sat down on a stair right in front of him. And we were quiet for a few minutes, and then more footsteps, and somebody bumped into me, and Steve's voice said, "Smee?" And then Amanda called from further up the stairs, "Okay, turn on the lights. He's the last one, he's the loser." "Oh man," Steve turned his flashlight on. "I am not. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You counted us wrong," Amanda said. "You counted yourself twice." "I did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn on the lights." Steve fumbled around, and then the lights flashed on, and we're all blinking. Everybody's sitting in a chain up the stairs, but there's a space in the middle. And one of the twins said, "Amanda, did you move up a stair? Because I thought there was somebody sitting, like, right above me, and now there's nobody there." "No," Amanda said, "I didn't move, but I thought there was somebody sitting there too." Just for a minute, nobody said anything. And then Steve said, "Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do." And we all kind of laughed, and we went back, and we pulled the papers again. This time I was Smee, and Amanda found me in like 2 minutes, so that game lasted all of 5 minutes. Then one of the twins had to go to the bathroom, so all the girls went off, and Steve and I were just standing there waiting for him to come back, and Steve looked weird. I mean, even for Steve. "What's with you?" I said. "You know, this last time, I thought Amanda was Smee, and I thought she'd hide in the coat closet downstairs. So I was like feeling through the coat closet, you know, and I felt a hand. But then when I turned the flashlight on, there wasn't anybody there." "Well, you probably felt like a glove in a pocket or something." "No," Steve said, "it was a hand, and it was really cold." I could hear the girls coming back. "Steve, will you knock it off? Just quit it and don't say anything to them, all right? You'll freak them out, and then we'll all get in trouble." So the girls came back in, and we turned off the lights, and we picked the papers, but you could tell people's heart wasn't really into it. And my paper was blank this time, but I felt somebody get up and leave, and after we counted to 100, we all got up and started moving around as a group. We moved out into the hall and kind of all moved down the hall, and nobody wanted to get really too far away from anybody else, but finally I got sick of it, so I went right when everybody else went left. I stepped down into a room that was colder than the rest of the house and had big curtains. Oh, I'm in that big enclosed porch on the side of the house, so I'm feeling my way down the curtains, and then I feel somebody's shoulder under the curtains. "Smee?" No answer. So I pulled the curtain, and I sit down on the window ledge, and the curtain falls back against us, and somebody else's shoulder is right next to mine. They're about my height. And then I feel hair, like tickling my neck, and I think it's the dark-haired girl. "Hey, Smee, I'm Jackson. What's your name?" "Brenda. Brenda Ford." "Oh. Yeah, listen, do you go to Stafford Middle School? Because I think we had the same lunch. Are you in Mrs. Cook's class?" "Shh," she said. "We're not supposed to talk." Well, that was rude, I thought. I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk, but it's just the two of us, and suddenly it didn't feel so good being all alone there with her. I kind of drew my shoulder away. I wanted to get up and leave, but I was afraid she'd like stop me, and I really didn't want that to happen. So we sat there for a minute, and then footsteps. Somebody felt outside the curtains. They felt my shoulder, and Amanda said, "Smee?" I didn't say anything, so she pulled up the curtain and flopped down beside me. "Jackson, is that you?" "Yeah." "Are you Smee?" "No. Smee's on my other side." "Oh." Amanda reached across me. I could smell that fruity gum she always chewed. "Smee?" And I could hear her fingernails kind of scratching down Brenda's jacket. "What's your name?" "She's not talking," I said. "Oh." Amanda slumped down. "Playing by the rules?" "I don't want to play by the rules. I don't want to play this game anymore. I wish we were all like in the living room watching videos or something." "Me too," I said. And then more footsteps, and we hear Steve's voice saying, "Jackson, are you in there?" "Yeah." "Is Amanda with you?" "Yeah," Amanda said. And then somebody's pulling the curtain, the flashlight is in our face, and it's Steve, and he's saying, "What are you doing? Did you expect the rest of us to sit out there and wait for you all night?" I said, "What are you doing? You haven't found Smee yet." "I'm Smee," Steve said. "We've been sitting out there waiting for you." "You're not Smee. Smee's sitting right beside me." And Steve showed the flashlight where Brenda was sitting, and there wasn't anybody there. I got up really fast. My stomach felt weird. Amanda got up too. "She was there," I said. I know she was there. "She was," Amanda said. "I felt her." "I don't want to play this game anymore." "Me either," I said. "Especially with people like Brenda. She cheats." "Who?" Steve said. "Brenda. Her." Because the dark-haired girl and the twins had just come down into the porch. "Her, Brenda. She sat there, she told me she was Smee, and then she just, slipped away." "What are you talking about?" the dark-haired girl said. I've been out there. I'm the one that found Steve. I've been out there this whole time. And why are you calling me Brenda?" "Because that's your name. You told me that was your name, Brenda Ford." And both Steve and Amanda just stared at me with the weirdest look in their face. And then Amanda hauled off and hit me on the shoulder, really hard. "Ow," I said. "What's that for?" "I hate you," said Amanda. I hate both of you. I'm telling." And she ran off, and all the girls ran with her. "Man, what was that about?" I said. "What did I do?" And Steve's standing there, but the flashlight's going all around in his hand like we're in some kind of crazy disco. And he said, "Jackson, you know that girl I told you about?" "Yeah," I said. "Yeah, the one 50 years ago that fell down the cellar stairs and broke her neck and died?" "Yeah." Her name was Brenda Ford.